Welcome to Practical Talk. Namaste. Blessings in you. This is URP Practical Talk. I'm your host, Pastor Wendell Jeffrey, and this segment is Talking Practically. I would like to get into the ban used tires debate, and I'm following on the heels of many others who have picketed and wrote letters to the editor or otherwise shown their opposition to the ban on used tires. The first thing I would like to highlight is that as long as you put tires in a car, they become used tires. Therefore, used tires do not mean old tires. I spent half of my life outside of Guyana, and one of the things that I have observed is that in all the countries in which I have lived, there is the used tire business. In fact, Guyana might be in a class all by itself when it comes to banning used tires. And the ban is likely to backfire with very tragic consequences. Why? Because normally, when our tire becomes slightly worn, we pull into a used tire store and we change that single tire. Hardly do we buy all 4 or 5 tires at the same time. What will happen now, because of the ban on used tires, is that people will keep their worn tires on their vehicles for longer periods of time in order to save money. And people will begin to drive on balding tires, and this will increase accidents on our roads. I would therefore hope that the GRA will have an adequate amount of warden on the roads who will be constantly checking to make sure that vehicles are outfitted with tires that have sufficient tread depth. And the GRA would have to make sure that these wardens are unbribable, because if drivers can bribe the wardens to drive on unsafe tires, then the GRA will soon realize that its ban on used tires will cause more harm than good. And that's talking practically. Dr. Bandu, another week.
Very good.
You're looking sharp again.
Yep.
What you think of the monologue, man? Let's use tires thing. I don't want to blindside you.
Well, the used tire, it's the first country around the Caribbean I know banning used tires, because people can hardly make it to buy a new tires because of their salary, what they work for. Some of them don't have jobs and things like that, and it's ridiculous for this government to ban the used tire, because as you rightly said, you'll have more accidents on the road. You're going to get blow up more often. Traffic jam will be more often, on the road. So it is very, very hard for people to find money in this hard time to buy a new tire. You see, the government, the minister, the president, the prime minister, they don't have to buy the government money buying it all the time for them, But the poor man has to buy all the time. So where would he get this money to buy it? And he hardly can make 3 meals a day, So it's absolutely right that what you're saying, that the used tire should not be bought. The used tire should be, because this what reaches with the poor man pockets, and you can't do these things. And beside that, if they're saying that used tires, they're making too much of garbage and all kind of things, they have it in the disposal area, packing up there and so forth. If you go, I went to Puerto Rico. What they do? They have things, they chip these tires.
Correct.
And they make roads with it. Yeah. They make rope with it. They make everything with it.
Correct.
Correct. With these same used tires. They make house with it. I went to a seminar and I saw all these things. Correct. These are things that Guyana can develop on. Correct. Bringing these additional industries. Correct. Correct. And these are we have been going out there and we have been seeing new things. Even the garbage that we garbage in Guyana, right? It got some value in it. Correct. Every country, you go to India and so on, you don't have nothing like a garbage. It utilizes some things they make with it. Either fertilizer, they're making, different kind of building material, biogas, and all these kind of things.
Yep. I want to come back though. I want to come back to this used tire, because we've been having this discussion And when I spoke on it, my niece, who lives in Texas, she said, Uncle Wendell, I just went and buy a new tire for, she's in Texas.
And yeah.
And she told me, she said, Uncle Wendell, I just went and buy a used tire for my car because I cannot afford, she's living in Texas, working for United States dollars as a nurse. And she tells me she could not afford to buy a new tire, so she went and bought a used tire in Texas. Doc, I'm very concerned about this because if you couldn't buy a used tire for $5,000 or $6,000, how are you going to buy a new tire for $15,000? You get the point I'm trying to make?
Definitely.
And so what the GRA is going to have to do is they're going to have to now employ people to walk around town and Linden Highway and Barbies checking on the people's tire. And then you know what's going to, you're creating another area for bribery because people will bribe these people. You understand what I'm trying to say? It's going to backfire. Anyhow, I don't know why you do it because I'm wondering what would cause Guyana, of all the countries in the world, like Barbados use tires, Trinidad, what would cause them? I'm trying to find the rationale. What is the statistics? Title. What did they use to determine that we're going to ban used tires in Guyana? The accidents in Guyana are not because of used tires. The accidents in Guyana is because of drivers not paying attention, the speed. You understand? It's not tires causing the accident. Anyhow, Doc, that's just one of my peeves here. Now, Doc, so another thing that is engaging the Guyanese public, and a lot of people are afraid to speak out, is this the repeated practice of putting in office retired military personnel. What's your take on that?
We are going back in the 28 years of Bornamism in many things that are happening today in this government. Now, in every section, since this government took office, in every section, they try to find a military personnel to head that department. In actually every section in Guyana. What are we trying to do? Make a military state? Is that what we are trying to do? Or the President Granger only know the military because if you tell them jump, they ask how high? You know, is that what he's trying to look out? Or is he trying to secure himself in a way that this next coming election he's going to rig it? You know, they have so many things you have to consider with what President Granger and his team is doing in Guyana.
Let me
trying to secure all these areas so that you will be able to have a rigged election.
Okay, so let's go. Let me see if I can get you to let's see if we can look at this objectively. Because the argument is these military officers have been schooled. They have their first degree, they have their master's degree. Some of them have some additional expertise as a result of being in the army. They were sent abroad, they were trained, and therefore the reason why the government is leaning heavily on these ex-army officials is because they bring a wider array of the necessary skill sets to fill the positions. What's your take on that?
So you're telling me that the people only in the army have this skill set? We don't have people outside that have this skill set to take these positions? Is that what you're trying to tell me? I don't get you clearly. Because I can understand if these army people, they went and they trained and they got a degree and so forth. We have many people who have their degree in Guyana, who is not working in army and police, and they are independent people. And they have their degree, and they have more degree than what the army personnel got. Why they can't get the job? Why do we have to get the army to take the job?
And another thing that people are looking at too, Doc, is that they're saying these retired army professionals already have accrued pension. They have already accrued retirement packages, and therefore, when you bring them into these positions again, you are disenfranchising economically the young people. You understand? Because these guys who you bring in, their bread already buttered. Some of them you're bringing them back from overseas to fill these positions, and you have the young people who carried this coalition into government, and you're not sufficiently placing these young people in jobs to benefit financially.
We have seen this from the inception of this administration. They promise the young people that they will give them job, they will look job for them, they will see that ensure that they get job, and that's how they get their support from the younger generation. But in spite of that, they do the opposite here. They bring in all these old people and put them in the position, to fill their pocket. No young people are trained to be the future leaders of tomorrow, right? So they keep on going in the same way, as you rightly said. The older people who's supposed to be in pension, they are occupying the seat where some younger generation should have occupied to make their livelihood. You are actually on your way out already, and this is what the URP are insisting on the younger generation to come up and take leadership. We are begging them, come please, come in the URP and be a leader of tomorrow, Don't, and one of our problems too we are having, and the young people are not taking things very serious. They are not, I don't know for what reason, they are not, in the political way, they are not taking things.
Because you're asking the question and you're answering the question. If a young person sits back and observe what is happening, that there's no position for them, that these big positions that carry the money and carry the influence and so on are being given to people who are from retirement, then what desire, what is the desire? I don't have a catalyst for me to get involved, because I'm looking at what's happening and I'm saying, look, between corruption and cronyism, there's no room for me in Guyana. Why do I come and throw myself into an arena when I don't see any crescendo? There's nothing for me.
Yeah, but you have to pay some kind of interest too, to show that you want to do something. Let me take, for instance, right now, we are talking about this third force of Guyana, right? We are begging younger generations, please come up, get yourself involved, so you will play a meaningful part in this. Now, you don't expect that the URP will do all the work, and then you, just because you got you are a graduate, you will come and you want a position right away, right? My thing is that get yourself involved, work towards something that's what you want. Don't sit back and read back, just but work for what you want, and push that little interest. Let me see that yes, you want to do something. Look, if you're working somewhere and you're in a job, when you're in that job, the boss doesn't have to tell you, look, this thing fell down on the ground, you must pick it up and put it back there. You should be able to see that something fell down there, and you should put it in the right place where you know it will be. And you know what? When your boss will observe something like that, then he say, this guy got a future in this company here.
Doc, let me say this to you. You do yoga. You watch your diet. You also proficient in alternative medicine and so on. I'm telling you this. You have your work cut out for you, because you have got to first cast a vision as the leader of the URP. You have got to cast a vision to these young people about the need to be involved politically, and then you have got to show them how they would benefit. So you got to first entice them, and then you got to cast a vision for them. Because the word on the street is that the young people are so, they're humiliated. They feel lost. In the last election, what happened has never happened before. You had all these young people and they were all involved and stuff like that. And then over the last 2 years, they realize, what have we done? Okay, so I'm saying this to you, Doc, that you're going to have to bring all your energies to bear on convincing young people that even though it looks as though there is no future for them, that there is indeed a future for them. They just have to look outside of the box and the political norms that obtained. So we've got this situation to where we have these older guys who are coming into place, young people not being positioned, and it's going to be a tough sell. And I hope that you're remaining fit enough to
Look, whatever we are doing here, Pastor, is not an easy job. It's a tough job. It's a tough job. And we are hoping and we are praying that whatever we are doing, we are trying to do the best so that our people can be able to see that what we are doing whatever we are doing is to benefit the people in Guyana. Not ourselves. But because, as I always tell you, I am on my way out, in life, age coming up with you and things like that. And I would love to see younger people take over the URP, to be the future leaders of tomorrow in the URP. Beautiful. And I'm so eager to get this happen. But I have been seeing the kind of people that I'm hoping and praying that I will see, that I'm looking for selfless people. I'm looking for honest people, sincere people, people who know that when they come into this position, they come here to serve, not to be served, like these two administrations. When they go in their position, they go there to be served, not to serve. It's the opposite, right? They go there to fill their own pockets, not to see that the people are righted. So where are we going, right? Our people, aren't we seeing these things?
I think, Doc, that people are seeing it. And the fact that we are here, and the fact that we have people who tune in to listen to our program, it might not be a groundswell, but eventually it will catch on, because people might not be academically literate, but they might be commonsensically literate. And so people are beginning, people are looking, and they're looking, and you will be surprised, 2020 is going to be a very interesting year in Guyana for elections. So people are getting fed up, they're looking around, they're looking for alternatives. Doc, let me segue a little here. What is your take, having reached out to the communities, the pensioners in Guyana, as you go around and you're talking to the pensioners in Guyana? What are they talking about? What is troubling them in relation to the realities in Guyana this time?
Pensioners are hoping that it is the closing part of their life. They're coming to the closing part of their life, to expire their life. And they have served this country all their life. And they are hoping that this would have never happened to them, what happened to them. Because the money that they're getting, I think it's about 18,000, something, 18 or 19, whatever they are getting, cannot even sustain them for 2 weeks. Where would they get their livelihood for the next 2 weeks? Being a beggar all the time, and they serve their country. They have been getting some money. This present administration give them an increase, a small increase in their pension, and took away all their facilities that they had. They had
the light and
the water and light. Now they increase what they give them, can't even pay one of those bills. Not even the water bill it can pay with the increase. So what did you do for the pension? You put them in more serious problem, right? They can't make ends meet. They have to go to bed hungry belly. They can't do anything. When at the latter part of your age, when you get old, you're hoping to relax and enjoy the rest of your life.
Not have to fight
that government will be able
to
take care of you. Look at other countries, you know, how government take care of their old people. You know, they give them free medical. They give them house to live in. They give them a little pension so they can buy their food. They even give them food stamps to buy food, right? But our country here, we have nothing to give off our older generation.
You know, Trinidad, the pensioners travel free on the public transportation. And the United States.
Overseas, States
and
too.
Barbados,
yes,
too. They travel free. In Barbados, pensioners, they have housing that if you can't afford it, the government provides housing for you and so on. So we're so far behind, and to think that we're more wealthy than those other countries. Anyhow, I don't want to get into that right now. Doc, I want to talk a little about you from the Vishnu, and so you experience it on a daily basis. The trucks that are parked at the side of the road, the congestion. What's your take on what's happening there?
As I travel coming over from Vishnu in Georgetown this morning, it took me 1 hour and probably a half to come over from Vishnu to there. One of the problems what we're having road construction going on in the peak hours on the West Coast and all over this country. The peak hour, we don't have time. If people are going to work, they got to work from their workplace from 8 in the morning to 4 or to 5. The same time the construction started from 7 in the morning comes up. They don't have no consideration of the traffic, although we have limited amount of roads. They don't have consideration. Government ought to make it clear, look, we have limited amount of road, we got to use it constructively. Right? When it's not peak hour, we can do construction.
Work through the night.
We can walk through also in the night in the construction. We go to the bridge, the same thing. We have 2 lanes on the bridge, and we have construction going on.
One of the lanes.
In one of the lanes, and sometimes 2-3 spots. Sometimes you see they got construction the same time on the one side of the lane. So you have to wait all the time for the 2-3 spots for you to go across. They can do this work in the night. I can't see why you can't do this work in the night. You know? If it has to be done in the day, make sure you do it not on peak hours. You know, when the traffic is there. Because what you're doing, job is very hard to get in this country today. And an employer doesn't concern what traffic jam you get or whatever. He wants to know that you be here at 8 o'clock. You're supposed to be here and not 8:30 or 8:15. Because he may be depending on you to open his store.
Well,
right?
Doc, I'm hoping that the powers that be listen to the cries.
And the next thing, let me talk about the Harbor Bridge.
Okay.
They have in the morning, they have these trucks parking there, right? Many of them sometimes they keep on starting. They ain't got proper battery to start,
so they're running.
So they run all the time. So it creates pollution, heavy pollution, when these smokes and things like that come out from the truck. What I'm saying that what they should have done, like sand trucks and all these trucks, we should create the environment for them to work even in the night.
Okay.
Right? So the bridge and all these things for the West Coast will be free.
Okay.
Travel through the night, fetch your sand through the night, fetch everything. So you're not able to disturb the traffic with the big trucks.
Okay.
Right? Work through the night. Trucks that have to deliver goods to stores and things like that, you allow them to work during the day. You know? If some of them can work in the night, it's good too. But because of the crime situation, they would not like that. But the sand truck
And the
thing,
vegetable.
because and what happened if the sand truck they work in the night, they burn less fuel, less pollution.
Okay.
Because they don't have to stop
they have to
and wait and traffic jam and all these things. So we got to think about our environment too.
Yes, sir.
On the traffic. So all these things will able to cure many of our problems. That's what we are having in Guyana.
Well, it takes it will take all of us to make this country work, and the folks will listen, and the folks will decide based on those who sell a clearer vision for how we should move forward. We're getting up to time, Doc, but there's a lot of development happening in Linden. I understand that the URP is setting up an office up there. There's a lot of excitement in Region 10. Take a few moments and tell us what's happening in Linden and why the hype.
Well, Region 10, we have opened an office last month, the beginning.
Okay.
But officially, we'll be opening it on the 22nd of July.
Okay.
We have been getting a lot of positive response from people in Region 10.
Okay.
Very positive response. People are eager to work with the URP. In fact, Region 10, we have been working more than any other part of Guyana. Okay. Because why? People who shows interest in helping themselves, the URP is there to help them.
Okay.
Right? And this is why the people in Region 10 are showing a lot of interest in helping themselves, okay. And we are there to lend them a hand to go. As we always said, the URP hasn't had anything to give you, but the URP are prepared to work with you to achieve what you have. We are not like the other political party, tell you we'll give you this and give you that. We don't have anything to give you. Let me be practical.
Correct.
Right? But we have our brain, we have our intelligence, we have our time to spend with you, to work with you, to make whatever you want in life, what achievement you want. We are here to work with you to see that you achieve it.
And so you've been going Rockstone, Ituni, all those areas there, and you've been setting up URP satellite groups in those areas.
Yeah, we have
leaders, right?
We have leaders. We have people who control certain amount of groups, and so like in the area, like district groups, and so forth. We have regional groups, and the same thing we are trying to do all over Guyana.
Beautiful.
So that people will be able to understand that the URP is here to work with them, not to tell them that we have some handout to give them. Beautiful. We want you to be proud people, so that you can able to understand that I'm not depending on nobody from overseas or anywhere to help me. I can help myself, and that will have self-confidence. You will have self-confidence, and you will able to be a proud Guyanese once again.
Beautiful. Now, and again, that office opens when? In the Linden office?
It's open right now, but officially on the 22nd of July.
Because you have some folks who would
at
want
2
to
o'clock,
come.
yes.
Who would want to
Yes.
come. All right, Doc, we got a couple of seconds, 5 seconds. Look into the camera.
I would like to invite all of you who are listening to us to come at our opening at the Linden office on the 22nd of July, which is next month, at 2 p.m. We are hoping to have a few hundred people there. So please do come and join us in our opening so that you can able to go do same in your district, what we are doing in Linden. I thank you and God bless you.
Thank you so much. Viewers, I want to thank you for listening to URP Practical Talk. Visit us on the World Wide Web, www.urpguyana.com, or on our Facebook page, URP Guyana. Until next week, same time, same place. God bless you real good. Stay tuned. Bye-bye.